In this week's video, I'm going to talk about why imperfection is the key to success in your coaching business. So often when I speak to coaches, they feel like they are a fraud, an imposter. They're wondering how to stand out in a crowded marketplace and get clients. They feel like they have to show up in a certain way. Perhaps they have to pretend to be someone that they are not. And often this keeps people stuck. And it's something that I've gone through in my own business as far as really figuring out that the key to success in my business is being imperfectly me. Being myself, being authentic, and showing up the way I am. And for a lot of us, I believe that we have this idea of what perfection is, especially when it comes to being a coach or being a health coach and what we feel like we have to look like and how we need to show up and, maybe what our personality has to be. And we're like, oh, wait, that's not really me. But the other people I see who are out there and maybe being successful with it, they're doing it this certain way and they look the certain way and they're showing up the certain way. And so I have to do it that way too. And this is not your path, okay? What your path is you being authentic and showing up as yourself. And I like to say showing up imperfectly, because I think perfection is this thing that's unattainable. We all have this different idea of what perfection is, or maybe our idea is based off of what society and marketing tells us. And so what I want you to recognize is that really the key is being yourself. And I think this more and more, especially with social media and the more time that it's around, that people are looking for something that is real and they are attracted to people who show up as themselves. And we're not stupid, right? We can tell when someone is showing up as themselves and being authentic versus someone who is pretending to be someone. Okay. And that is what people are looking for. They're looking for someone who is willing to be vulnerable and be themselves. So when it comes to your coaching business, there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind. Number one is that you are your brand. You don't need any sort of fancy logo, fancy colors. You don't need to create some fancy name. You can just be yourself. And that's really your branding, okay? People want to work with you and you showing up as you, not you pretending to be someone you're not, all right? And recognizing that you are unique. We're each our own person. We all have different stories, experiences, personalities, and that's exactly how you're meant to show up and how you are meant to create your success, okay? And the second thing is recognizing that your ideal client is looking for you. They are meant to be working with you. And that is why we get clear on who our ideal client is and the person that we want to be working with, because that person is meant to work with us. They're looking for someone just like us, not us pretending to be someone else. They're not meant to work with someone else. They're meant to work with you. Okay? And so you don't have to change who you are to attract your ideal client. You just want to be more of you and show up authentically to attract that person, okay? Often I find my ideal clients are a lot like me, right? So if I wasn't showing up as me, I wouldn't be attracting those people. So the third thing I want you to keep in mind is that giving yourself permission to be imperfect. And that's really why I named this video what I did, that imperfection is your key to success. And nobody is perfect. I have learned this more than ever as I have become a coach, and I've worked with tons of other coaches. And coaches are obviously people who are working on themselves. And even though we're working on ourselves, all of us are imperfect. There is no one out there that does not have problems, okay? Often we think like, all these other people have it all figured out and I have all these problems, I have all these things I'm still working on. Not true. Every single person in this world has things they're working on, has things that they don't like about themselves or they feel like they need to be better at. That is just the way it is, okay? So let go of this idea of you having to be perfect to help other people or to show up in your business. Trust that you are enough right now, that you don't need to know more, you don't need to do more, you don't need to be more. You can show up and help people right now. And you only need to be a few steps ahead of the people that you're working with. So a lot of times I hear from coaches, well, I'm still on my own weight loss journey, or I'm still working on my own health issues, or I'm still not perfect when it comes to anxiety, or, whatever it is you're going to be helping your clients with. Nobody ever is. It's a never-ending journey. Everything in our life is a never-ending journey. I'm always working on getting better in my business and showing up better in my relationships. I'm always working on my health issues. There's nothing, you never get done, right? Like there's always more you could be doing. There's always the next level you could go to. And so to tell yourself, I have to get to this level of perfection where it's all done and all figured out before I can help people is silly. Very, very silly. Okay. And it's funny, I was talking to a client the other day, or a potential client, I should say, who became a client. And she was saying, I was looking back at your videos when you first started. I mean, now I've been doing videos for probably about 4 years, I think. And she's like, oh my gosh, the transformation between when you started and now is amazing. But the stuff that you were talking about when you got started is still really good. Like I find those videos super helpful. And this is the thing. I did not get started where I am now. And when you look at where people are now, especially in their business, and you're like, you're thinking you need to shoot for that level of skill when you're just getting started, that's silly because you're comparing your now and just getting started to someone's maybe 4 years or 5 years, 10 years having done the thing that you're looking to do, right? And so we all get started in a place of imperfection, and we never get to perfection, but we start in a place where we're probably not real great at what it is we're doing because we're just getting started, right? And the only way to get better at it is to practice and to keep doing it. So don't compare your beginning to someone's end and be like, I need to shoot for that level of skill right now, because that's silly. We all get started in a place where we're just getting started, and our level of skill is beginner, right? And you have to be okay with that. Very important. So the next thing to keep in mind, number 4, is to let go of comparison, let go of looking what everyone else is doing, thinking you have to do it that way, and just show up as yourself. Just be you. Don't think you have to do what someone else did because it led to their success. Your success will look different, and that is okay. And you can trust that however you want to show up and the things that you want to be doing is what you're meant to be doing. Okay. And once again, the comparison piece too, comparing your beginning to someone else's end and thinking, I need to be at this skill level right now when I'm just getting started. Silly, right? So the next piece is the importance of bringing in your story and sharing that. I think is so important, and people really connect with us. They connect with our story. They connect with our experiences. You want to share that. That's being you, and that's being authentic, and it's allowing people to understand where you're coming from and why you're doing what you're doing. And then sharing your passions, right? Like, I share the fact that I love nature and being in the mountains and, obviously personal growth and helping people and health and all those things. And I share that with most of my ideal clients, right? So don't be afraid of sharing the things you're passionate about. And the next piece is obviously your expertise, your experience. I have a background of being a doctor, having gone and become a chiropractor, doing functional medicine, now doing business coaching. Like, I share that experience, and a lot of times people can resonate with that, resonate with my journey. Before that, I have an undergrad in interior design, so I've definitely made some switches and changes as far as what I'm focusing on in my career. And so I share those things because people can resonate with that, right? And the last piece is just your personality and allowing that to be what it is. Often I talk about the fact that I am an introvert and I show up as an introvert and I just show up as myself. And I think a lot of my ideal clients resonate with that, right? They resonate with how I show up, who I am, not pretending to be someone else. I'm not pretending to be an extrovert, pretending to be like super, I don't even know, someone that I'm not, right? Like someone who's really like, like that's not me. Okay. And so just be yourself and show up that way, and you don't have to change who you are. Okay. So I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway just from the things I shared with you today. Do you find yourself getting caught up in this idea of perfection and thinking you have to be someone other than you are when it comes to your business and creating success in your business? And if you are, let me know in the comments below. Let me know which of these steps like you find most helpful as far as helping you move forward and showing up as yourself. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want more videos just like this, subscribe to my channel. I'm always creating new videos helping you with your business building journey and with the mindset and business growth side of things. And if you want to dive a bit deeper into really the steps of growing your business, I have a free training where I walk you through step by step the steps to growing your coaching business. So if you want to check that out, I will link it below. And I want to thank you so much for joining me in this week's video, and I will see you next week.